Hey, it's Random Pop Culture News Freak here, aka Mr. Man, we're reading you guys the wrestling news, not just towards the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, of course, as always. Odyssey, Minds, Reddit, YouTube, Brighteon, and all the other good stuff, just in case this channel gets shut down or chat about what have you. God forbid. Anyways, I think it has been, I want to say between 2019 or 2020. I'm pretty sure that might have been the last time. This ain't the first time I talk about the absolute OG icon. Not even just of the skateboarding world, just like in pop culture in general. If you were a 90s kid or early 2000s kid, maybe for a few Gen Zers, you might remember like um this dude, the best, the legends, the dudes from Jackass and Viva La Bam, Bam Margera, and of course Steve-O. I think the only two that are still big out of those two is Steve-O. I think he's still doing his little typical podcast shit. And then he's trying to pass the torch to the other dude. I forgot the dude's name, not remember what it was, but I remember he had real thick glasses, and he was. I mean, if you see my reaction with these, you know I'm a big dude already, but like that dude's got to at least be 400 or 500 pounds. And to me, I think I'm between 209. No, I should. It's 290, 295, almost 301, which is kind of dangerous because I don't want to pass 300 because that's what I know. I'm going to get a shitload of fucking problems physical. So yeah, that's crazy because I still do my work hotel, motel, casino job shit too. So there's that. So it's lucky I've been able to still keep that. Anyways, hopefully I don't get a copyright claim or strike for this shit because I'm playing all the Tony Hawk's Underground 2, a pro skater thing. Any people want to listen to the rest of it? Links to description box down below. This shit, my god, it was the jam at that time. Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Anyways, I'll leave the link to the other one just in case. I think it's Pro Skater 3 or the Underground 2, one of those two. So it says Steve-O makes an emotional plea for Bam Margera. Just oh yeah, and the other dude Johnny Knoxville. I don't even know that dude's still even doing like stuff in Hollywood and all that. But when I heard about the stuff that he was involved in, like not officially from like mainstream media, because I'm never gonna talk about it ever. But man, it's kind of disappointed me. I mean, I don't even know if he's still involved as a Hollywood actor and shit like or not. I think it was like 2013 the last time he did a movie, and that was like the way older one. I remember I did a reaction on my older channel, my Critical Realization channel, about it. It was called Bad Grandpa. I never got a chance to see it, but man, hopefully I get to check that out eventually, one of these days. It was a while ago when that came out, so my god. Anyways, links to search box down below to this whole thing. When we got this covered, there's two other ones I'll leave. It was from the Independent. This took me by a freaking shook, because I didn't even know this dude Bam was actually, he passed away for a little bit, but then he was lucky enough to live again after like 10, 12 minutes. That's a literal miracle from Yahshua we got, even though granted, yeah, I know the stuff on him, he might have been a part of those, unfortunately, possibly satanic occults. I doubt it, because the only two people I know on YouTube that are like, I guess, because I remember back in the day, well, not even back in the day, like 2020, 2021, there's another chick out here. I know she's kind of sort of big, but she is kind of big already. He's way bigger than my channel. He's like 265,000 plus subscribers by the time I'm making this video. I know her name's Tamimi. I know she does a lot of like drama stuff, and she's very, very protective of kids and stuff like that. Hey, no, that's great too. That's awesome. I know she's a little younger than me. She's like 26 or 27, but like, I know she was a real big fan of Bam Margera and Viva La Bam. I could already tell. She was definitely one of those Afro being like, and then not to make this a race ethnicity thing, you know, it's made a lot of white Caucasian kids are way, way bigger than this shit at that time. You know, me being a Hispanic Latino, it's, oh, it's kind of funky, weird, but it's weird, it's whatever. I never got discriminated on, thank God. But other than that, I remember being all the Tony Hawk Underground Pro Skater 3 and then Underground 1, 2, all the way to like 2007. I think it was Tony Hawk's Playground was like the last one he was in, and that was it. So I guess video game wise for the whole skating thing from the early mid late 2000s, like that dude was very way massive problem. He had his own show. He was on the first two like Jackass the movies. I think in part 3 or 4 like he wasn't there at all because fortunately you already know the dude. If you were keeping up with a lot of this news about Bam, that fool, all the alcoholism, especially after the big old unfortunate passed away, was his like literal almost like brother. Even though granted it wasn't his brother physically by blood, but the other dude when Ryan Dunn died. I think that's when he spiraled really the fuck out of control after that, man. He wasn't the same after that, man. And it's crazy because he has a kid now, too. I didn't know he had a kid. I know he was married for a little while, too. So, hey. So, yeah, let's jump into this thing without any other distractions. So, now let's jump into it. This is a holy dismay of turn of events. It appears though a Jackass star Man, Magera has fallen off the wagon yet again, unfortunately. The news comes from Magera's longtime friend and co-star Steve-O, who has who is a longtime friend and co-star Steve-O's, who has invited the 43-year-old to his bucket list tour. In an effort to help him get back on track, and last month Magera appeared as Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast, where he had revealed that he was basically pronounced dead to be hospitalized from I still believe that part. Plandemic, scamdemic, you already know, big fake government psyop shit there. And ammonia. Ammonia part, I believe, though. So it says, at the time, it seemed like Bam was serious about his sobriety. So it's, quote, so far, so good, best behavior tour, Steve-O said, whose real name is Stefan Gilchrist. Gilchrist or Gilchrist, I don't know. Glover has shared in his January 2022 update from the following tour stop in Salem, Oregon. Says, way to go, Bam Margera. Oh, cool. I'm glad the dude's going to be a lot better, though. Hopefully he is. And it looks like they were happy as fuck over there, too, man. And this dude, when he was younger, he'd do crazy, fuck ton of crazy, wild-ass shit, man. Any guys never seen the original Jackass, like, show or, like, the Viva La Bam thing? Like, you got to check that shit out, man. That was, for me personally, I wouldn't say it was ahead of his time, but kind of was, kind of is. Maybe some of you Gen Z or little baby kids probably remember what it was, but you had older brother, older sister, or probably your uncles or aunts now. They probably know what this was. It was a little bit controversial this time, because it's like, since it was on MTV and shit, even though granted I know what MTV is now. I'm not going to get into that, because it goes into the whole tinfoil hat theory shit about them worshiping Lucifer and all that, which I wouldn't be surprised. It was like that since the 80s. But they were right on that shit. Anyways, let's move on. Unfortunately, Magera's sobriety didn't seem to take in. I'm extremely fucking sad, but whatever. In a since deleted Instagram comment earlier this week, Steve-O admitted that his friend had relapsed again, making one of the last efforts to get him through via Yahoo Entertainment News. And this is what he was saying. I think I'm trying to do his like voice because he's kind of weird. I don't know how to speak like wild, lazily voice like that. It's like sounds chill, dude, bro. Like that type of thing. I don't know. Not trying to sound like a dick, but it's true. It says, Bam, last night you had 5-year-old son on your stage on my show. And we're blessed with the chance to spend another day or two with him. Then as soon as you left my show, you stayed up all night getting loaded. You state that you want to have a relationship with your son, but your actions guarantee that the opposite will happen. I brought you on this tour with me in hopes that I could get you to see what's possible for you if you choose recovery. I tried everything, but I can't force you to get honest and do the work for recovery. I wish I could know how much I've hated feeling braced for your news of death, but you're making it clear that I have no other choice. You're dying, brother, and it sucks that I can't do anything to save you. Unquote. Steve-O dude himself, man. He did a lot of crazy shit. I know they gave him a lot of like spin-off at the time. It was Wild Boyz. I don't know if they gave him anything else after that, too. He was a funny-ass motherfucker, too, man. Once it goes on to say, Steve-O himself has been sober since at least 2009 after his whole publicizing struggles with drug and alcohol addictions. Of course, not in the dark. Magera's last relapse came from falling tumultuously in 2022, which he was initially beginning using alcohol again shortly after celebrating his year of sobriety. In June, the former professional skateboarder was reported missing in court in order for rehab facility. Though Magera eventually returned, he was missing again just a month later, was caught up by the partying over a video soon after. At this point, Steve-O likewise expressed that his friends and family could only do so much until Magera himself decided that he wants to remain sober, and hopefully he thinks he makes a choice before it's far too late. And so once again, overall thoughts and opinions, bro. It hurts to see it, man. It really hurts to see this shit. Cause, granted, I didn't really listen to a lot of like death metal, heavy metal, thrash metal shit, like a lot of other. But once again, not trying to be racist, but mainly the majority, like mainly white kids and maybe a few black Latino kids will listen to like heavy metal, death metal, thrash metal shit. But I didn't even know this dude was freaking passed away for like 10, 12 minutes, but he came back alive, thank God. It's literally in the same month as my birthday, too, which I'm in my mid-30s now, so I'm still kind of a kid compared to that dude. Because he's like 44 almost. And luckily, the dude's still breathing. He's alive. He's well. I hope this is a wake-up call to let him know. Because this other dude, I guarantee you, if Ryan Dunley was still alive right now, in this day and age. If Dunn would never die from that car crash, car accident, which there's a lot of theories and conspiracy shit happening on that. No, at that time it was. Ah, man, I didn't even know he had a kid. That's crazy. He had a kid, man. Wild. So he got busy. That's good. Glad. Hopefully, he becomes a more responsible father for his fucking kid. Even though it's not my place, it's not my judgmental zone to like say like, oh, I should raise this kid because I say I don't know how to do IRL. Number one, I don't know none of these fools IRL. It's more like old school parasocial relationship. He was around when the internet was still like a freaking baby at the time. It was probably almost a fetus. I didn't think social media was a thing until like maybe a year after that show came out, 2004 maybe. I want to say between 03 or 2004 around that time. But at that time it was just mainly a lot of like teens and preteens and maybe some college students using it at the time. I still remember Facebook was still a thing. It still is. That's making a lot of senior viejito dudes and elderly people are using it nowadays. And I'm gonna be surprised TikTok in the future ends up becoming the same thing. And then that's what another social media crazy fucked up site happens. Like, it hurts to see this dude like he's still doing the struggles of alcohol and bad cocaine and addictions, bro. He really needs to lay off that shit big time. But anyways, links to description box down below, cards on the side. I hope he's still getting the help that he deserves. I actually watched this 2 hour documentary or hour and a half documentary of whatever it was called him getting better, and he looks like his skateboarding show was good. He even said like at one point like if he ends up getting into a bad accident with his legs again, he'll never be able to walk again. That's fucking scary. Because all the stuff that he took. I know he promoted a lot of like European bands too. He was real big for that. And this is in the old places at the mall, like Hot Topic and Journeys and shit. And Spencer's were like really big into selling a lot of goth emo, like scenester sort of shit and all that. But I think it was 07, 08, or 09, maybe 2009 at the latest. I think when they started changing a lot of stuff to like geek culture stuff, like stuff for weeaboos or weebs and shit like that. That's what it was. I think that's when they started like changing a lot of the stuff, and a lot of those real actual goth emo scenester kids are like the punk rockers and all that shit. And death metal people like they kind of got pissed at that, and they had nowhere else spots to actually chill IRL at that time. So I remember that shit like mother from now. I remember like yesterday. I'm going down memory lane when I hear about this. It's a damn shame. I see them all the games, the cartoons, and I like not the cartoons, but all the reality TV show shit that he was on. Like he was a funny ass dude, man. He used to get fucking do whatever the fuck he wants. He did all these pranks on his family. And that part where he used to fuck with his dad Phil and all that was funny, but it's kind of fucked up. But it was wild. He was probably getting paid $500K plus $1,000 for that shit. 'Cause I think Bam, he was getting paid almost 400 grand, like every episode he was doing at that time. So, and this is prior to all like a lot more modern day social media site, before the VR thing was a thing, before like smartphone stuff was a thing, before all this other viral shit was a thing. You know, that's what I had when I was growing up in my teenagers. But anyways, that's all I gotta say for now. I'm out of here. Please subscribe down below. Like I said, that hopefully that Steve-O dude, he made a more of a positive impact on the dude Bam, so he doesn't end up leaving again. So I don't want to have to make another video where he passes away. It's gonna be a bitch. He's always gonna be nostalgic as fuck to me. That's all I gotta say. I'm done here. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, girls and fanboys, fangirls, talkers, and much. I'll see you. There's a bunch of other stuff I wanted to talk about too, like more extra boycotting shit for that J.K. Rowling thing, and then stuff for the Resident Evil 4 remake. Some people are getting pissed that it might be wokeism, but that's it. I'll see you when I see you guys today. Good night, wherever you're out there. See what you got on the channel. Doing once in a while gaming industry news, a bunch of anime manga news. So of course, as always, Elon Musk news, reaction review segments, once in a while celebrity news. That's it. Take it easy. Peace out. I'm Reserarch. Lazy Mice. See you close. I'm out. Goodbye. Stay safe. I'm gone.